Hello, my name is Eric from Support Adventure, and I'm making this video about hiring frontline or first level engineers for MSPs. Now, this is something that as a staffing consultant and staffing company, we see a lot of companies and the different ways that they do it. And so I wanted to just outline some best practices that we feel will get you the best staff, basically. And frontline engineers are, essentially the face of your business. So if you do well in attracting the right type of person, then your business is going to look really good to the outside world. And if you put them in the right structure, it's going to function really well. So I'm currently in Thailand, and part of my work with Support Adventures, I get to go to places around the world where we recruit expats and other people who can give excellent support in the English language. And because of the sort of shutdown of the world right now, I'm going to be here for a little longer. So I wanted to make this video, and it still applies to hiring remotely, especially hiring remotely, because a lot of the cultural stuff that could be imparted when you bring someone into the office is a little trickier to impart remotely. But we at Support Adventure have a lot of experience because we're an IT company that works only remotely. So, hiring first-line engineers. The type of personality that you're hiring needs to be of the utmost importance. You want to hire people who are personable, eager to learn, excited about the job, and agile in the way that they adapt to new technologies and learn. So basically, the skill of a frontline engineer is somebody who can give excellent customer service while exploring problems for customers and starting the support process. So you need somebody who has that sort of those soft skills of being able to make people feel good and make people feel like they're being cared for. That's very important for the face of your business and the frontline engineers. It's more important that they have that and that they inspire confidence in the client than it is that they know the answer to every sort of technical question or technical issue. And so you want people who have that sort of sparkling personality, and you want to attract people who have empathy and compassion for people who are suffering computer issues and who can put themselves in the shoes of the customer and really be the bridge between technology and the people using it. So that's the most important thing when hiring frontline engineers and also dispatch. And you need the people who will get on the phone and just communicate that charisma. So ways that you can screen for that, apart from the general vibe of when you talk to the person, is you sort of give them scenarios that they, if a CEO of a company calls up and can't print and is going into a meeting that they need something printed for in 10 minutes, what do you do? And you sort of have them do some role playing and see how they would present, for example, a workaround to the person, and if they how they would deal with that situation and stuff like that. So you need to judge by their personality and their approach to people above all. That's the main thing when hiring frontline. And they also need to have that sort of technical skill to figure out problems as they go along. A lot of people have that skill, and they have it from many different areas of life. We've had people who came from event management, various coordination roles, various other technical experience who did really well in tech support environment. And then we had people who had lots of experience in the tech support environment who did not do very well at learning new things. And they could be certified with whatever. They could have whatever experience. My famous example is an IT chief in the US Navy, and just couldn't actually adapt quick enough for the frontline environment. So I would say you need to emphasize the ability for somebody to figure things out more than you need to emphasize their specific experience with specific technologies. Office 365 is the main platform for email that most MSPs are using now, and that's really easy to figure out for someone who is good at figuring things out. And well, it's changing all the time. So even if you're certified in how it looked 2 years ago, doesn't mean you're going to actually know much about it today, roughly speaking. And yeah, so have them demonstrate their willingness to sort of be on the up in terms of their knowledge in the industry. Have them sort of demonstrate that they're a go-getter in terms of researching things and providing solutions. And give them some some tests on how they would approach to learning new things. In an interview situation, what this looks like is a question that we ask in one of our interviews, which is, what is the difference between POP and IMAP email protocols, and which is used more frequently today, and why? And a lot of people who are applying as level 1 technicians do not know this, because it's kind of an old school thing, pre-cloud email, when you actually had to choose between POP and IMAP for your mail clients. So what we're looking for in this question, if they don't know, they're allowed to Google it. And if they can construct an answer that you would find acceptable for them to tell a client within the 1 minute that you give them to Google it, then chances are they have the research ability and the ability to learn new things that will make them a success in the role, if their explanations are elegant and diplomatic enough to be the front face of your business. And that's what you're looking for. You're not looking for someone who knows all the answers already, who knows which port IMAP runs on when it's secured by SSL. I mean, maybe you'll find people who know that, but the key thing is being able to research information on the fly and to make sensible customer service explanations and decisions based on that information. You see what I mean? Because that's the actual premium, because Google can answer anything, and there will always be technologies that they've never heard of before that they're asked to troubleshoot. And how they react in such a situation will essentially be how your business is perceived to the end customer. So you want someone who can deal with those situations in a fluid and competent way. Right. So the next thing is, you want to ask about how they approach to learning new things. Do they have a passion for it? You'll see that by the previous one, but ask them to describe how they've learned new things in their previous careers, whether it's in tech or not. And yeah. Also, we give them a sort of test usually for Office 365 to set it up from scratch. If they don't have experience from it, they go on the Microsoft website and do an enterprise version of Office 365 and set it up from scratch. And they're expected to do good ticket notes according to our specs for the whole process. And we judge the notes, not the result. We don't log on to their the trial account. We actually just look at the ticket notes, because a frontline tech needs to be able to leave great ticket notes, or else they're not going to be a part of the team in the way that they need to be, unless it's a really small team and they're constantly in chat with everybody else, which I don't recommend. So yeah, present specific instructions on how to take notes and see if these people can follow it. See if they can follow the instructions, understand why you want them to keep good notes, and understand how they will fit into a system. This takes me to the next thing. Emphasize that you are going to have them working in a team, and that you want to develop them and mentor them, and ensure that they are team players with a balance of independence. So for level 1 technical people, you don't want people who are, on the chat all the time, asking people about this, about that, thinking that asking more questions is good. No, you want a healthy balance of independence, people who can, take responsibility for things on their own and get things done. And you want a healthy balance of that with teamwork, willing to work within a team, willing to be mentored, willing to mentor other people, and just sort of be a part of a group of people who are all scratching each other's backs, so to speak, in terms of the technical support ecosystem that you set up. So you don't want a lone wolf level 1 technician. You want the level 1 technician to know where their responsibility ends. A lot of the time you'll be like, after troubleshooting for half an hour, 45 minutes, 1 hour, they're expected to escalate a handover, and you want them to understand what makes a good escalation, what makes a bad escalation, what makes good notes, and how to leave the ticket so the person picking it up has the best chance of doing that. So you want that in place. So it's not so much about for frontline techs, it's not so much about them knowing everything or them taking responsibility for everything, but it's about putting them in a structure that will help them grow, and having them being willing to fit into that structure that you place for them. We're big on structure at Support Adventure, because we see how the MSPs that effortlessly run help desks of 30 technicians, how they run, and we see how the ones that struggle to run with 7 technicians, how they run. And the difference is all structure. And level 1 technicians need to have clear boundaries on where their work starts and where it ends. And in interviewing the people, you need the right balance of people who will jump in and pull their weight, and people who will also depend on the whole structure and feed the structure by keeping good documentation and good notes of what they're doing and all of that stuff. So I hope this helps. Basically, you want to present them the fact that you're all in the same team. You know, a lot of the time, MSPs will look down on frontline engineers and berate them for not being able to solve stuff, and that creates a toxic environment. And well, if you think you've got the wrong person, you know, it might be best to let them go, but make sure that there is an opportunity for them to improve. And you know, if you have to tell them something once that you think they should have known, okay, make a note of it. But if you have to tell them again and again and again things you think that they should have known, then maybe you have grounds for dismissal. But don't don't say you should have known this unless you have handed them a very precise list of stuff they should have known. Honestly, we have one at Support Adventure, the level 1 MSP knowledge checklist, and then it's fair game because we've given all the level 1 people that list, and then it's fair game. And well, if they're escalating that stuff, yeah, and if they had enough time to research it, yeah, then maybe it is bad that they're escalating that stuff. But it's all about structure and making the expectations of this role very clear from the beginning, because a lot of companies just let people work on tickets and with very little structure on how to escalate them, how they get assigned to the level 1 engineer. So cherry picking is an issue, and the number of tickets. So we like to see a good dispatcher who's assigning the tickets based on the competence and complexity of the engineers and the tickets involved. And we like to see a solid escalation path that also allows the level 1 technicians to know what happened with the ticket. You know, the level 3 engineers put good notes on too, so they can see how the ticket that they couldn't solve was solved, so maybe next time they can solve it. So it's all about creating a good culture for your level 1 people to feel confident in being the face of your business. And if you put in that structure and you communicate it in the interview, you will see very quickly who will fit into that culture and structure that you've set up. So if there's anything I missed, please put it in the comments down below, and I'd be happy to, you know, if you need any consulting on this sort of stuff, we do interviews for clients on a sort of fee-based basis. We have lots of people who have applied to our company from around the world who we can offer you as candidates through our company Support Adventure. And yeah, we also help you set up things like your service desk culture escalation procedures and all that stuff. So we're kind of a one-stop shop for getting your MSP up and running as a 21st century remote MSP, which works remotely as a lot of people are now. So if you want to book a meeting with me, an exploratory call, follow the links down below. We'd love to get to know you as an MSP and see if we can help you. Otherwise, I hope that this information was useful. Thanks a lot, and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you like this video. There'll be more like this in the future. My name's Eric, Support Adventure, signing out from Thailand. Bye now.